Keith Dykes here with W.K.D. Construction, and today we are going to be building an ICF storm shelter for the Melton Farm Project. So if you've seen my last video, if you haven't, go back, check it out. I'll put a little link up in here. But we've got the footing done, the concrete slab is poured, and we are ready to start framing. But the first thing I think I want to do is we're going to go ahead and form up and pour the storm shelter before we get the walls and all that. That way I can get my forklift and the concrete hopper. We can pour right in there, and then we can frame to the storm shelter later on. In my previous video, as you can see, I have all of this rebar stubbed up, and then I have support, like a support footing in the concrete slab, and allows structurally to withhold and support this concrete wall. We are going to use ICF concrete forms, which is insulated concrete forms. That's what the ICF stands for, and I got them right there on the trailer. This is a very, I mean, you might as well go ahead and do this. I do this a lot in my area. I'm in Northwest Tennessee. We do get tornadoes, so it's just a peace of mind, and it's really not that expensive when you're in the construction process. So you might as well go ahead and do it. This is going to be about a six foot by 10 foot, so nothing huge, but enough to get your family in and have that sense of security and hopefully ride out the storm. So we'll get the blocks unloaded. We'll come in here, probably chalk a line our outside perimeter, and we'll just start stacking. It's a very easy process. They've got teeth on them. They lock together. It's just an easy process. It's goes up pretty quick too. We're gonna have a metal storm door on this end where it opens in, but we'll just get them uncrated and get with it, man. I broke a block down like you saw, so I'm gonna give you a little closer view. So here is the inside of an ICF block form. These are hinged, so you can kind of move them and open them back up. That way they're not so bulky when you get them. These clips are for rebar. So every course we put on, we will put a course of rebar. So this is very strong, horizontally, vertically blocked with rebar. Just a very good wall. I like this block. It is 18 inches tall and 8 feet long, so you can really cover some ground with these blocks. These got little clips right here. Of course, your teeth are offset. When you stack a wall on top of each other, then it's got these little clips. You push it down real tight, it locks in, and that wall is solid, man. It is nice. I think overall this wall is 11 and I don't know. This is a 6-inch wall. I can't remember exactly. I'll have to put some specs on here, but maybe 11 and 5/8 inches the thickness of the wall. I'll get a corner out and show you the corner as well. So here is the preformed corner, and you just knock it down just like that. It comes with a little piece right here. Slide it in right there, and it's square. It is stiff as all get all, man. And we're ready to start stacking. That easy. Simple as that. All right, I got online and found the specs. This foam is 2 5/8 inches thick. The total from outside to outside is 11 1/4. Like I said, this is a 6-inch block. They make a 4, 6, 8, and 12. I believe, but man, you can do 45s. They got preform 45s, brick ledges, everything you need to build a super insulated, strong, just a badass house out of ICFs. They got it. So I roughly got the corners laid out. I think we're gonna do 74 inches by 10 foot 6, I think, outside to outside. So first thing we'll do is, of course, we'll chalk a line outside perimeter, and then we will set each form to that chalk line. Get the first one set, then I don't know, we may stack a few before we foam the bottom because you use a spray foam. to foam the bottom and make it adhere, and way you don't lose concrete and water and everything else. So we'll get the outline perimeter chalked and start stacking some blocks. On these blocks, you have a common joint in every wall. It doesn't matter if it's 200 feet long, if it's 6 feet long, you're gonna have a common seam right in the middle, or well, wherever you want it. You start on the corners and you work your way into the middle of the wall, wherever a joint, say you run 60 feet on one wall, you run 40 feet on the other wall, you meet in the middle, and you just keep tic-tac-toe until you get to that point. You cut your block, and then we will screw 2x to the outside to hold that joint together. So it's really easy. It seems kind of complicated, but it's easy overall. We'll show you. So like right here, we'll have we got a factory here. We got a factory here, so we will pick, say, this side. We'll measure from this side and cut it right there. So every block will have a cut at that joint all the way up, and then we will block it on each side. So we got a measurement here. It's 79 inches from that block to this block. You just hook on the factory, come over, mark it, and then we'll just use a saw. It doesn't take much. You could use whatever you want to, but that works fine. And don't throw this piece away, because you can use it. Yeah. So the factory will butt that side every single time. And our common joint will be right here every single time. It won't look that pretty, but it doesn't really matter. It's all going to be covered up later on anyhow. One of the first things we'll do is mount a 2x4. We're going to do it on the inside right here. We'll mount a 2x4. That way the concrete form has something to go up against, and it won't shimmy to you. It won't shimmy Cocoa Puff on you once we start pouring. So we'll get that anchored, and we'll put the block right to it, and then go with the chalk line on the outside. And these clips right here are just factory clips that hold your factory ends together. Just take into the side there, holds it nice and holds these together real snug. And then once we get to here, we don't usually, sometimes we'll put some tie wire in there just to kind of hold them together. We can put a little tie wire just to kind of make that fit snug. You'll put your clips in the bottom too. Those are a little more of a pain in the ass, but they get, but you can get them in there. But that just keeps this from separating. So this was talking about our common joint. That's where we'll have a seam all the way up. We'll just use some 2x, screw them to here because there are plastic tabs in there. And hold, push it. So we'll do 2 of those, one towards the bottom and one towards the top on every block. So now that we got the base run basically set, we will put the rebar, 1 run of rebar in there, and then we'll get ready and start stacking it, and we just keep doing the process over and over until we get to the desired height. I think we're going to do 6 blocks, so we're going to be right at 9 feet tall. So we're checking it for level. If your concrete's not perfect, you can lift up your form just a little bit, stick a screw in there, and it'll hold it where it needs to be height wise. Of course, all the bottom is going to be foamed anyway. All the bottom gets foamed, so it'll be fine. I just got locks that snap in there. You don't have to tie them because those hold them really well. Snap together just like that. And we'll keep going. And here's your clips. Once you get the initial one down on the bottom, on top and bottom, once you snap this block in, all you have to do is just put them on the top from now on. You don't have to do both sides because the bottom, this right here has got the teeth locked in, so it's not going to spread. So you just do the top, keep it locked in. When you snap the rebar in, one side, each course you alternate, inside, outside, and then when you run your verticals, it kind of holds it up and will be spaced correctly. As do your corners. You alternate your corners. So this one has a short side, this one has a long side. So you just keep alternating. We're doing a metal storm door frame, which just get held in by these clips, and you just kind of got to notch out your styrofoam, which is going to sit in there and hold. And we get a little tie wire or something put on there, just kind of hold it. But I just took a frame, just made a frame, the height of the door opening. Then I'll just screwed it to here. I got this flush, that way this will be flush. I can use this part right here to go to my block, and everything will stay plumb this way. far as where the door location was at, I just used this factory corner right here. I thought that would be easier than trying to have symmetrically put it right in the center. Use just this factory end. I can keep this a little more plumb, a little more accurate. And then that actually worked out to where my plastic tab wasn't going to be in the mix. That way I didn't have to cut it right on where a plastic tab was, because if you got to cut on a plastic tab, it's a bitch. They are hard to cut on. Another cool feature about these blocks is basically all these lines are, say cut this off, this is your scrap piece. Maybe you have 2 cut ends on it and you need to make a factory. You just cut that one, you can cut down that mark and then measure from there that way, and your teeth and your locks will line up if you use one of those lines every time. So don't throw, that's why I said don't throw away your scrap, because you can actually utilize it. All right, day 1 is complete. Well, it wasn't really a day. We started probably at about 12:30 and it's 3 o'clock. We're about to kind of take off a little early for Thanksgiving tomorrow, but so 3 hours, and we got to go one more course on top of that, do some bracing. I've got some turnbuckle bracing that I'm going to use on the wall. That way we stiff it up, and then we'll have to do some bracing inside. And of course we are going to do a solid concrete poured lid on top of it as well. 6 inches will be the thickness on that. So yeah, like I said, it's very cost effective this way to do it. I mean, while you're building the house versus trying to come back later and trying to do it after the structure is there. I mean, we can definitely get to this a lot easier. I have a concrete hopper that goes on the front of my forklift, and that's kind of why I'm wanting to do it now. That way I don't have all these walls that are 9 feet tall and I'm trying to reach the boom over and pour the lid and everything. So that's why I went ahead. We're going to go ahead and pour the storm shelter first, and then we'll come back and frame later, just to be a little easier.
Back at it Monday morning here at the Melton Farm place, and we're on our last course. Do a little something different with the last course. Cut all the teeth off of it. I don't want any teeth on the top. And then we notched the inside down 6 inches. We'll come in, put some 2x around here, and put plywood on top of here as a lid. That way we will have a 6-inch thick concrete lid on top of this storm shelter, and then we'll rebar the piss out of it, you know. So you have that security and that concrete over your head. So we'll do that with the whole thing. You can kind of see it up there. Now here's the vertical rebar. Just kind of basket weave it down through there. They go about on this pour about 3 feet roughly. And then as we pour, we can kind of shimmy Cocoa Puff that to where it kind of stays centered up in there. So like I said, you don't have to tie none of that. It's really rigid as hell, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on it as we pour. Like in here, then we'll come back in with 2x4, form it, plywood on top of it. We'll probably put some plastic down on top of the plywood, that way when we pour it and we can remove the forms, the concrete would be really slick. It'd be just like the piece of plastic. So so now we're gonna brace the hell out of it. Got some turnbuckles. Where I usually get my blocks, they do have a brace system. Nudura does make their own brace system, and luckily whenever I purchased the blocks, my concrete place where I get them, they let me borrow them. They just kind of let them use them, but they were all out, so we're doing this method. We're just gonna brace. I got some turnbuckles. We'll get it. It's similar to the method what they have, but what they have is all steel, so we're gonna use wood with some metal bracing. We just got it bolted up to the top. We're gonna have a stiff leg up there, and then those stiff backs there tapped onto the concrete, and then we can move these, adjust these, and plumb in or out. All right, so here is, so there's the framing. We just, like I said, we just took a band around it and then 16-inch on centers, put some framing in there, and then we'll just lay the plywood down, and then the concrete, we'll put rebar in here as well, and then that way when we pour it, we'll tie the rebar from here over to the other side, make a grid, make a mat, and then when we pour it, it'll just come up flush to here. So Nudura, they make their own foam. We will foam the bottom, around the bottom, make sure it seals off really good, and you don't have any heaving of the blocks once we pour the concrete in there. So we'll all the way around the bottom. If we have any cracks in the foam anywhere, around the door casing, around the door itself, inside where the locking's at, any kind of holes, we'll try to seal all them up. That way we don't get any overflow of concrete. And let's just get it. They got their own foam gun too. Shake it up real good. We're ready to go. And I'll go ahead and foam our common seam because it does have a little weak spot right there. It can, water and concrete can sneak in out of there. All right, I've called Southern Concrete Products out of Paris, Tennessee, and Mr. Tyler is mixing it up and it should be on the way. It's gonna take 6 yards to fill this building, which is 6 foot by 10 foot with a 6-inch lid on top. I'll give you a quick little peek. You can see foamed everything, foamed all our common seams, all our doors, foam everywhere around here. Everything's good. Oh man, I'm gonna go up top, show you a little peek. So I just put a little plastic down just to keep from water and stuff getting down in between here and falling. So concrete will go right over top. Our vertical rebar's in, and then we did a rebar mat that way to hold the concrete up and support it and reinforce it. All right, we use a 3-inch Schedule 40 pipe as a sleeve just for a vent, kind of exhaust. We got one on the right side and one on the left side, and then once we put whatever we're going to put a siding out here, we'll put some sort of vent on there. That way they can get fresh air in and out of that storm room if ever need be, had to get in there. We're getting ready to pour the storm shelter. Of course, we got to pour from the top in, And I'll tell you one thing that I got that I love, I absolutely love. I don't have to use a pump a lot of times. I don't have to rent or purchase, or not purchase, but rent a boom pump or a bumper pull pump at a lot, concrete pumps, because I've got that concrete hopper. Heck yeah, man. Put it on the forklift. Got a little adjustable sheet on it. Works like a champ, saves me a ton of money. I mean, if you got to get a pump, man, it's minimum, you're probably thinking about $1,000 just to even have to pump anything. So definitely worth its weight in gold right there. Concrete hopper.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding.
So I got in a hurry. I got in a hurry, trying to get it poured today before a storm moved in tomorrow. And we had a blowout. Oh, daddy. It sucked balls, but we were able to fix it. We did get it fixed, and we were able to pour it and finish pouring it. So, man, hey, don't mess around with concrete because it'll win every damn time. I'm a dumbass. That's all there is. I just got in a hurry. But yeah, these were just cuts right here on this edge. So it was just swelling and it just blew out. Right here, just blew out. But the rest of it held, so everything looks great. Just don't get in a hurry. Don't get in a hurry. Check, dot all your lowercase j's, if you know what I mean. Oh, I'll give you a peek up top.
Guess I'm sitting there too.
So we just basically just screeded it and just kind of hit it with a float there, and that'll be good. It's going to be an inch from it's only going to be an inch from the ceiling, so I wasn't worried about finishing it. So there we have it. That's how you almost mess up. I'm just kidding. That's how you form up and pour a storm shelter out of Nudura ICF concrete forms. So once again, I'm Keith Dykes. This is the Melton Farm Project. Thanks for watching, and oh yeah, got it, coach.